All right, bank reconciliation type questions. These are always fun. Hilltop Co.'s monthly bank statements show a balance of $54,200. Reconciliation of the statement with company books reveal the following information. It looks like there were bank service charges of $10. There was an insufficient funds check of $650, also known as an NSF check. These are when checks essentially bounce. Checks outstanding, $1,500. They had deposits in transit of $350. And additionally, there was a check that was deposited by Hilltop and it cleared by the bank for $125, but it was improperly recorded by Hilltop as $152. So again, they recorded it on their books as $152. It was cleared by the bank as $125. So we basically messed up a number when entering that. What is the net cash balance after the reconciliation? So when you're doing any sort of bank statement reconciliation, you're going to be reconciling the books to the bank statements to see what the discrepancies might be and what adjustments need to be made. So the best way to go about this is literally line up all of the book adjustments next to the bank statement adjustments, and the ending balances should tie out. So you're then going to go down the line and basically dissect all this information and categorize them as an adjustment to the books versus the bank. And they're going to be asking for the balance related to the bank statements. And how do we know this? What's going to tip us off to this? It's basically saying here Hilltop's monthly bank statements show this balance. So that's going to be our indicator that we're talking about the bank statements that they're talking about. So let's go through each of these items one by one and categorize them accordingly. Bank service charges, $10. What are we going to do with those? We're simply going to be deducting those from the books. And why is that? So for those of you who have had a bank account, which I'm sure all of you had, bank service charges are automatically going to be like a maintenance fee that the bank is going to take from your account just for kind of banking with them. So that's going to be immediately deducted from your bank statements. Oftentimes you're not going to be aware of that, so you're going to have to go back and reduce that on your books. Next item on our list, we have insufficient funds check. So that's also known as an NSF check. Basically, this just means that you received a check from a customer. The customer didn't have enough funds in their account, so the check bounced. What about checks outstanding? So checks outstanding are actually going to be subtracted from our bank statements. Basically what we're saying here is we are recording a check that we paid to whoever, and we are immediately going to record that on our books, but it hasn't affected our bank statements yet. So checks outstanding are always going to be subtracted from our bank statements. Deposits in transit are also going to affect our bank statements. This is saying that we have deposited money into our bank account. We immediately recorded it on our books, but it hasn't affected or it hasn't hit our bank statements yet. So we're going to add this to our bank statements. So we can clear these, and now we just need to deal with the check that was deposited by Hilltop and cleared by the bank for $125, but improperly recorded as $152. So basically what's tipping us off that this is accurately reflected on the bank statements is that it was cleared by the bank for $125. So that means they're good to go. But it was improperly recorded by Hilltop as $152. So what we need to know about errors is that they can either be affecting the books or the bank statements. Here it's saying that it was cleared by the bank, so it was accurately presented on the bank statements. We need to make a change to the books. So the difference is going to be the 152 less the 125. We had an adjustment of $27. That's just the error that was made. But it doesn't matter because that is going to be affected on our books. So it could be an addition or a subtraction depending on the error. So now we have enough information to determine what our ending balance should be after our adjustments for our bank statements. We need to determine based on the subtraction of the checks outstanding and the additions of the deposits in transit. So our beginning balance is the $54,200. And we can ignore everything else except the checks outstanding and the deposits in transit. We have $1,500 and $350 that needs to be adjusted. So we know that we could subtract this by $1,500 rather, and add the $350 from our deposits in transit. Everything else can be ignored, and our net cash balance is going to be $53,050.